Howdy, welcome to Aggie Onboarding for the School of Law graduate programs. We're going to dive into a whole bunch of information, so let's go ahead and do it. All right, so these are your wonderful, fabulous advisors for the graduate programs. Currently we have five advisors working in our programs, but we are hopefully going to be adding at least two new advisors soon. So please be on the lookout and make sure that you're paying attention to who your assigned academic advisor is. So that way, when you're making appointments or you're trying to contact us, you are reaching out to your correct assigned advisor. All right, so officially, welcome to the Aggie family. Howdy. We are so happy that you are part of our family and really making Texas A&M special in what it is today. Texas A&M is steeped in culture and tradition, and there's a saying at A&M that if we do something twice, it becomes tradition. So you always want to pay attention to those. So many different traditions. You can find all of those on the A&M website. So we do encourage you to explore that and look at all of the Aggie traditions because there's so many that are really, really spectacular. Please be sure to check it out. And we know that as a distance education student, sometimes you may not always feel as connected to campus or to us or to the A&M family as someone who attends classes on campus, but we assure you that you are officially an Aggie. And we want to make sure that you feel that from day one. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Howdy, you have been sent a PDF copy of your advising sheet specific to your emphasis and or certificate to help plan your courses. The advising sheet is a guide and has been created to aid your course selection and sequence. You should reach out to your assigned advisor if you have questions or want to discuss the pace of the program to suit your individual needs. Each program has their own required core courses, and required core courses are taught every semester. Everyone pursuing a master's degree will earn the Master of Legal Studies or the Master of Laws degree, and any emphasis is also credentialed as a certificate. Your program may have different core courses required than your classmates. Make sure to follow the advisor provided advising sheet and not one provided by another source. If you don't have your copy, reach out to your assigned advisor right away so that you can get a new one. Law 792 or Law 745 are the same course. They are both dispute resolution courses. The only difference is that Law 792 is taught in person, either in Fort Worth or in San Antonio. The other option is Law 745, and that's taught completely online, just like the rest of the curriculum. Electives are met by emphasis courses. For example, if you are pursuing the health emphasis, then your electives will be met by taking courses in the subject of health law. Texas A&M provides all students a university email account. All information from your advisor, your professors, and on occasion administrators will use your university email to communicate with you. Your school records cannot be discussed via email using a personal email address. Generally, advisors reply within 1 to 2 business days, but that can sometimes be extended during high volume times such as registration and graduation. Some of the emails that you will receive from your advisor will specify that it is a bulk email. Be sure to send a separate email if you have questions about that bulk email so that your advisor can reply in a timely manner. And don't forget to be kind, professional, and to include your university ID number or your UIN in all communications. What can you expect from your advisor? Communication. So we're going to send as many emails as necessary to keep you informed. Read all emails thoroughly. Oftentimes we include FAQs or visual aids as attachments to our emails, and those will be extremely helpful when getting through the program and doing things like preparing for graduation. We will be responsive. We will respond to your email within 2 business days to the best of our ability, keeping in mind that that might be adjusted during peak times, as mentioned before. We will be knowledgeable. We are here for our students. We're expert in these degrees, and we are the ones that you should contact if you have any questions throughout your program. And we'll serve as a resource. We are your first point of contact. If we can't answer your questions, we can guide you to the resource that can. What we expect from you as a student in the graduate program. Responsibility, invest in yourself. This is your opportunity to stretch yourself, take on new challenges, and take ownership of your academic journey. Be responsive. Read all your emails, especially from us, thoroughly, maybe even twice. Time management, plan ahead and be proactive. Respect, be professional in the way you write emails and present yourself both to the advising staff, but as your fellow classmates as well. Trust, your advisor has your best interest at heart always, as well as following university rules and procedures. And then verify your list view schedule in Howdy. Confirm you have registered for the classes you intended prior to the first day of class. And then, as always, advisors and students should adhere to the Aggie core values and the Aggie Code of Honor, which you'll learn more about in the academic rules presentation later.
Howdy. We're going to take the next few slides to talk about succeeding in graduate school. We are ultimately your cheerleaders through this program. We work in academic advising because we love to see our students succeed. And so we're going to do our best to help you succeed, starting with succeeding in a graduate distance ed program. So the fall and spring semesters have 2 sessions divided basically halfway through the semester. You'll have a break in between session A and session B, or session 1 and session 2, in the fall and in the spring. When you register for your fall classes, you need to register for both sessions. If you register after the first day of this fall semester for the second session, that still can count as late registration and incur late fees. Alternately, the summer session is 1 session only. Make sure you're using your course syllabus to just determine your professor's communication preferences and expectations. Some may have their work email that is not a TAMU email that they would like you to communicate with. We don't necessarily encourage that, but just pay attention to how they prefer their communication style. Read the syllabus prior to the first class day starting. You'll receive access to your classes in Canvas about the week before your classes begin each semester. And that's perfect time to review your syllabus, take note of important dates, and have a general idea for the course structure. And then follow your advising sheet as much as possible when choosing your classes. So some skills for success: critical reading skills, self-regulation skills, having some sort of technology literacy, having an academic goal, being self-efficacy, and time and space management. So these are all skills that you had when you were an undergraduate student. They're just amplified if this is your first time taking online courses. You don't have weekly meetings necessarily in the classroom with your professor to help you stay on task. So all of the things that you learned in your undergraduate degree are going to be amplified in a distance ed graduate program. Some critical reading skills that we recommend is to read and prepare for class, office hours, and advising appointments in advance. Don't go by the seat of your pants. Be prepared every single time you enter the classroom through Canvas. Read all of your materials thoroughly. A lot of students find that reading twice through, once to scan, once to read thoroughly, and then maybe even going back a third time to reflect on what you learned. Again, check your Texas A&M email daily. Things change fast and important updates will be sent there. So skills, self-regulation and learning skills, most of that centers around time management, setting reminders for yourself. Don't necessarily rely on the calendar in Canvas. Keep your own calendar separate, whether that's a paper calendar or a Google calendar. Make sure you're turning your assignments in on time. Professors are not obligated to accept late work. Some may, sometimes, depending on the situation, but all coursework is expected to be turned in on time. And make sure you're watching entire videos and taking notes while you're watching as well. Meet with your academic advisor to formulate your goals if you want to graduate in 4 semesters or if you want to graduate longer, if you want to add certificate. These are all things that you need to talk to your advisor about in advance. That includes planning your graduation semester and paying attention to when you need to submit your degree plan, typically when you're registering for your final semester. And then office hours. Faculty will host office hours in each of your classes. It's a good idea to attend each week or maybe even just once, depending on your mastery of the class. Be prepared to ask questions when you're there. And be prepared to use Canvas, get familiar with it before class starts. Like I said, you'll have access to Canvas a week before your classes start. So you can kind of poke around there to get a feel for how it's going to look. You may need to use a different browser than you're comfortable with or that you typically use. That might be Chrome or Edge. It just depends on what works best. And then make sure you're reading all the PDFs, newsletters, and emails thoroughly. Grades are based on mastery of content and not completion. That is sometimes hard for people to understand, that it's not just about completing the work. It's actually showing that you have an understanding and mastery of the subject. Law school is hard. It's hard for JD students, and you may find it challenging as well, even though the curriculum is different between the JD program and the MLS and LLM program. You need to show mastery of the content in order to earn A's. A's aren't given out freely. You may earn a B or a C in your time, but of course, we all hope that you will earn A's every single class. Do your best to network with your fellow students and professors. That really adds some depth to your learning experience. I know that some students in the past have had groups outside, or maybe they're friends on social media, but try to take advantage of those networking opportunities. Remember that Texas A&M is in the Central Time Zone, so some of you may be in Pacific or Eastern or Mountain, or you might even be on the other side of the world, but we'll conduct all of our business in the Central Time Zone. Expect on average a minimum of 2 to 3 hours of study time each week per credit hour. We might find as you're going on that's overestimating how long that you need to spend, but at least initially plan to spend at least 2 hours per credit hour each week. And that's not just watching the videos, but that includes readings and assignments as well. And do your best to create a distraction-free environment. Find a place that's quiet where you can study, where maybe a significant other or the kids aren't constantly jumping over your shoulder or interrupting to reach across you to grab something. Taking these small steps to set yourself up for success will benefit you in the long run.
Howdy. Students will schedule advising appointments via Navigate. We offer advising appointments to assist you on your academic journey. When scheduling an appointment, please be sure it is with your assigned academic advisor. It is a student's responsibility to cancel scheduled appointments if they are unable to attend. We do have a no-show policy that states after 2 no-shows in a semester, students are locked out of the system and will need to work with their advisor to make alternate arrangements. Please be on time for your appointments, as appointments are canceled after 10 minutes of being late. Treat your advising appointment as an important meeting. Don't drive or engage in other conversations during your appointment. FERPA stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. So in order to protect a student's privacy of educational records, we can only discuss general information over the phone. To discuss FERPA protected information, students will have to schedule an advising appointment. We can only discuss academic information with the student. It's the student's responsibility to ensure privacy in their surroundings due to the sensitive nature of the information being shared. Students must also notify their advisors if someone in their proximity can hear or see information provided by the advisor, and give the advisor permission to continue the conversation. Okay, students will receive a PowerPoint presentation by Dean Terry Helge. The It's imperative that students familiarize themselves with the presentation and the academic rules. The PowerPoint will include important information regarding attendance, excused absences, makeup work, grade policy and scholastic requirements, exams, graduation, Aggie Green, honor code, and student conduct.
The next few slides will go over resources. So this first slide talks about Canvas. So if you log in your Howdy portal, you can star Canvas as a feature that you'll locate when you log in, and you can click on Canvas, and that's where you will view all of your courses that you registered for fall session 1 and fall session 2. And then also the advising office, we have a Canvas community folder where we have advising announcements, we have the advising syllabus that you can view, and then we have monthly newsletters. So I recommend, and I would think all advisors would recommend, you can star or heart and make this Canvas feature a favorite when you log into your Howdy portal. Okay, the next resources, definitely you can screenshot this. Library information, if you need a little bit more info on that. The Student Affairs Office, if you have questions about accommodations and wellness info. Student Services or the Registrar's Office at the School of Law. We refer students to chat with those folks if you have some registration questions. Again, you can always reach out to your advisor for registration info as well. But sometimes the Registrar's Office processes certain forms and add drops certain courses. So definitely you can screenshot this and bookmark this email if you have questions with the Registrar's Office. Student Business Services, this is a big one for billing. We actually have a School of Law Student Business Services resource, so definitely jot that sbs-law@tam.edu email down if you have billing questions. Advisors, we do not have billing or financial aid screens, so this is why this is a great slide for you to take a screenshot of. And then School of Law bookstore, your A&M assigned advisor should have sent you a bookstore link, but also you can locate it here or call them if you have questions. And then moving on to more resources, School of Law Financial Aid Office, definitely jot that down. It's law-financialaid.tam.edu. And then the overall grad programs on main campus, if you have questions with those folks, mental health information, services, and then veteran services as well. But again, we're here to help you. We're a resource. So you can always start with your advisor. And then if we don't know the answer to your question, we can always, give you the correct contact and moving forward with your questions. Okay, Honor Lock. A lot of students have a question about what is Honor Lock. Honor Lock is a platform that A&M uses to help maintain academic integrity during your online quizzes and exams. Honor Lock will be located in multiple places, and if you have questions, there will be info in a lot of places as well. So first off, if your instructor is using Honor Lock, that information will be in their campus module. It'll also, the policy will be located in their syllabus. And then, as we mentioned before, the grad advising office has a Canvas folder, and we also will have a Q&A Honor Lock info if you have questions about Honor Lock.
All right, so we are officially wrapping up our Aggie onboarding, but we want you to know that because this is a distance education program, you will receive what I'm sure will feel like a ton of information from us, lots and lots of emails, but we promise that we're not sending you anything that we don't deem very, very important. So please be sure to read through those and let us know if you have any questions, and especially if you have any questions about Canvas support or IT services, any of the resources that Jennifer talked about. And also be sure to check that A&M email daily. We understand that you may have other emails, but this is your main port of contact by Texas A&M. So you always want to check that as often as you can. Right. And last but not least, remember that we're a community. Advisors are here to help with anything that we possibly can. And like Jennifer said, if we don't know the answer, we will point you in the right direction. Texas A&M is huge and has so many resources available to you. And we want to make sure that we help you be able to reach those. So we're going to wrap up with each advisor's best advice. And we wish you the best of luck with the upcoming semester. And please let us know if you have any questions. But my best advice is to please include your UIN in your email. If you're not sure about how to do that, we recommend setting up like a template, a signature template, that you can plug in your name, your UIN, maybe a phone number, maybe if you have any credentials, that way we know who you are and where you're coming from. That always is going to help us because we have lots and lots of students. I think we have over 1,000 at this point. So it's always good to know who you are, and that way we can give you the best opportunity to give you the best information we can.
My best advice is to log into Howdy and go through and heart or favorite all of the things that you will need regular access to. Canvas, the student billing portal, financial aid portal, veterans resources, Zoom, your Gmail, the Aggie schedule builder. Go through and favorite those so you don't have to hunt for them later.
Okay, so my best advice goes back to putting everything on the calendar. When I was in grad school, it wasn't that long ago even, I had a paper reminder. So I had a planner that I put everything in on paper. Some people prefer that. Some people prefer their Google Calendar. But not only should you put all of your assignments and due dates in there, but you should set a reminder a week beforehand to allow you time to work on those assignments. So about a week beforehand, before like a major paper or project is due, you should have a reminder to be working on it that week. In addition, it's a good idea to also put the university calendar dates in there. So things like Q drop, hard drop, payment deadlines, and so on, so that you're aware of any repercussions, perhaps if you need to drop a class halfway through the semester, or if you're getting to the point where it's time to make a decision about a Q drop, you know the exact deadline that you have.
So my advice would be just to encourage students to check their TAMU student account often. We do send a lot of bulk emails, but it's a lot of important information in those emails. So just that students do not miss any deadlines. And I also strongly recommend students to utilize professor office hours to discuss course topics. Your professors are experts and are a valuable resource.
And my best advice would be to utilize and check your newsletter each month and the advising and Canvas announcements. Advisors, we look at that newsletter each month and create highlights that we think students should have on their radar each month based on advising information. So it just kind of keeps important things on your radar, makes you think ahead. It might allow you to think of questions to ask your advisor. It allows you to look kind of far in advance to kind of go, oh, I'm going to be graduating in a couple of semesters. They're talking about degree planner. What is that degree planner? That's a great question to bring up with your advisor. The next time that you make a navigate appointment with your advisor. So I would definitely use that newsletter as a successful tool. And again, all of the advisors are friendly. We're here to help you. So please, good luck on your upcoming semester and thank you so much.